So, Ford, how did you get into BJJ?
How did I get into it? I don't know. I had it would have been. Well, how long ago did you do the post that went on Facebook?
It must be 3 years. That was before COVID happened, I think.
Yeah,
So it was in
well
2020.
before I started, but I saw that and I was like, oh, I want to do that. But at the time, we had just had our firstborn. It was at a time when it was just right on our firstborn, and you know, at that time of life, things are like,
well, it's like everything's all up in the air.
I can't dart out a couple of times a week, sort of thing, to go and do that. And then so it probably took 2 years until, and obviously I didn't bother during COVID or anything like that. And then it took after that it was still on my mind, and I was like, oh, I'll go and give it a try. I looked up the webpage and I was like, oh yeah, sweet. And that's when I think I messaged you.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll come down and check it out. And I bought one of those trial memberships, and I think it was like the first evening. I was like, after doing it, I just thought, oh, this is definitely for me. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say when you're only
It's funny though,
or
hey?
so in.
Yeah, it's
But,
funny.
Yeah, it was. It reminded me a lot of when I was younger and I played rugby league, and what I missed was that rough and tumble. I guess there's nothing else with that. You know, most people don't walk around in life ever encountering conflict. So you're never kind of, unless you're doing some contact sport or something like martial arts, you're not coming into contact with it. And that is what it kind of reminded me of rugby league, and being able to, just have fun, kind of bashing people in a friendly way or getting bashed.
Yeah.
At the time, it was 100% getting bashed. I couldn't believe how easily you can just be manhandled.
Yeah. So do you remember who you rolled with first? Because was this at our new place?
Yeah,
or
it was at the new place,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And I think everyone had just gone back into the gi.
Okay.
I think it was Jason.
Oh yeah.
That I first did drilling with, and even the drilling, I was like, oh geez, what the hell?
Yeah.
Because your body just doesn't move in the way that it's meant to. You know?
Yeah.
You've never done anything like that. Well, I hadn't done any form of martial art whatsoever. So yeah, that's kind of, I can't remember a reason really why.
Yeah.
It might have been.
But did you hear about jiu-jitsu? Like, how did you?
Oh, I heard about it because I listened to Joe Rogan and that.
You would have watched UFC.
Yeah, I watched UFC a bit, but wasn't that into it.
But now, are you into it?
Into it more.
Yeah.
Like there's still something about the UFC that doesn't sit right with me.
Like what?
That it's so violent sometimes.
Really?
But I can watch it now and still and enjoy it, because I can enjoy some of the.
Maybe because you understand a bit more.
Yeah, you just understand it a bit more.
Yeah.
You understand that there's actually, watching it without any knowledge whatsoever, you kind of have this idea that it's just pure violence.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas once you have some sort of knowledge, and I'm not saying I have much at all, you at least notice some intricacies about what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
what they're trying to work towards. And then you can kind of appreciate, there's actually a lot of skill in that.
Yeah.
And then, you do a couple of boxing classes and you're like, geez, like the fitness involved in doing that round after round for 20, 25 minutes or something, if you're in
the championship rounds.
Yeah. Then it's like, it's insane.
Yeah. How do you do that? Yeah. So it wasn't, because I mean, if there was a post that was for Kung Fu, would you have done?
No. And I hadn't been interested. I had done enough research to know that I wanted to do a martial art that had some sort of, you were able to
break people's arms.
Be more effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were able to translate that into real life.
Yeah.
Something that, like, you actually, when you went there on a Tuesday, Thursday night, you had to implement that at 100%.
Yep.
In certain occasions. And so I had done enough research to know, jiu-jitsu was one of the few that you actually could do that. Like you couldn't walk into a taekwondo class and start kicking someone 100% in the head. It just isn't going to happen. So, well, you could, but you're probably not going to last long.
Yep.
Whereas, I guess the beauty of jiu-jitsu is you kind of, you kind of can go into a rolling session and maybe not be going 100%, but you could, unless it's with.
Sorry, I think 100% is all you know. But carry on. I'm not here to.
Well,
to stop you.
I think I'm at about 60.
Oh,
but
of course
yeah.
you are.
Until I forget that. But yeah, that's the beauty. That's what I think is the beauty of it. You can actually be taught something in drilling, then try and implement it and work out, oh, geez, that doesn't work anywhere near as effectively when someone's trying to counter it at the same time. And how do I try and counter their counter?
Yep.
You know?